Howdy folks, and welcome back to XCOM2 with the mighty Jingles. And when last we left our band of not-so-intrepid heroes, we just rescued Mox from Advent captivity, where he'd been abducted by the assassin Chosen and locked up for being a bad boy. Mox, of course, voiced by Michael Dorn from Star Trek The Next Generation, is the recruit from the Skirmisher faction. Who are the Skirmishers? Good question. Glad you asked.
This is the headquarters of the Skirmisher faction. They may look like Advent, but they sure don't act like it. Now that we've established contact, we can scan at this location to gain additional support for our cause.
You know them as they were, the soldiers of Advent. Now they are free to choose. If you stay your course, Commander, they will stand with you until the end. Commander! I believe it is time that we meet. I am Betos, first of the freed Advent. You are safe here.
Yeah, she talks too much. I know, ironic, me accusing somebody of talking too much. That's Denise Crosby, by the way. She plays, or played, Lieutenant Tasha Yar from Star Trek The Next Generation. I think I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern emerging here as far as the voice casting is concerned. So, anyway, we've rescued Mox, we've made contact with the Skirmishers. This now gives us new options in the Resistance Ring facility. Via the Skirmishers, a new Resistance Order and a new Covert Action has just become available. Now, we can't use an awful lot of these Resistance Orders at the moment because our influence with the various different Resistance factions is very low. But as we complete Covert Actions for the various Resistance factions, our influence with them will increase, and this will allow us to use multiple different Resistance Orders at the same time, and these things can be ridiculously powerful. Before we come on to that though, XCOM2 trivia time. Dr. Tygan, Head of Research and Development.
I will make that our highest priority.
That moment when you realise that Dr. Tygan is voiced by this guy. No, really, that's Gary Anthony Williams. He's an American voice actor and comedian. Anyway, so, Resistance Orders, Covert Actions, what's going on here? Resistance Ring facility construction complete. This, boys and girls, is where we're going to be sitting down around the table and coordinating our actions between all of the Resistance networks.
Commander, the factions you have contacted are well equipped to track down the Chosen. Their knowledge will be invaluable in helping XCOM locate and eliminate these threats.
Thank you, and welcome back, movie voiceover guy.
The benefits we gain from working with the Resistance factions on their covert operations are a major boon to our efforts, but there are also risks involved. Our soldiers could potentially be attacked or taken captive while in the field, so it's not as easy a decision as it may seem.
If you would order us, Commander, we will undertake a new means of disrupting the Elders and their false vision.
Right, here's how this works. You can only run one covert action at a time, and you can only run covert actions for Resistance factions that you've actually contacted. So I haven't actually made contact with the Templars yet, but I can run a covert action to locate the Templar faction in order to make contact with them. Since I've made contact with the Reapers, I have three options. I can begin the hunt for the Chosen Assassin, I can send troops out to recover some loot, or I can send troops out to gather supplies. Now these covert actions, they don't just happen. If we look at gathering supplies for the Reapers, for example, I'll get 86 supplies out of this, but it's going to take 6 days. And I have to actually send troops from my combat roster off to complete this mission. And they'll be completely unavailable for anything else while they're on this covert action. They do earn experience for completing these missions, however, and there are also some bonuses which you can gain for your troops by sending them on these missions. On this particular mission, for example, I've assigned Sergeant Fisher as the first soldier in the action, and as a reward for completing this mission, she's going to gain +1 mobility. So it can be a relatively safe way of earning experience and leveling up your lower ranked troops. And I say relatively safely because there are hazards associated with this mission. There's a moderate risk that any of the troops assigned to this mission are going to be wounded. However, I can negate that risk in this particular instance by assigning an engineer to the mission.
We'll get the job done. Don't worry, Commander.
So that's almost all you need to know about the new Resistance Ring facility, until we come to the end of the month when Resistance orders come into effect, but we'll cover that when it actually happens. Right now, however, we're busy trying to establish communications with the Resistance in West Africa and expand our Resistance network there. And bingo, job done. I do have to say though, for a bunch of West Africans, they do look remarkably European, don't they?
Long live the Resistance.
New regional contacts located.
Commander, the Resistance forces we just contacted in this region have provided us all the intel they have on the Chosen actively working in the area.
So, you would come to strike at me. I eagerly await your arrival, Commander.
Okay. Well, making contact with the Resistance in West Africa has opened up access to Western Europe and South America. Unfortunately, it's also added a second Chosen into the mix, the Chosen Warlock, and right now I know exactly jack and shit about him. Well, we'll worry about him later. For now, the covert action that we just set off in South Africa for the Reapers is about to reach completion.
Our people seem to work well together, Commander.
Hooray! Mission went off without any hitches, everybody gained experience, Sergeant Fisher gained 1 mobility, and Fisher and Williams have gained increased compatibility with each other. Alright, first covert action successful, let's get another one underway. You should always be running covert actions if you have the troops spare to allow it, and if you don't have the troops spare to allow it, recruit more troops. So we've increased our influence with the Reapers. Now we're going to do one for the Skirmishers, and this modular construction Resistance order looks very, very nice. If I complete this covert action, it's going to allow me to construct all new facilities on board the Avenger 25% faster. That's an incredibly useful ability to have, particularly early on in the game. The second soldier assigned to this op is also going to gain +1 mobility, and there's a risk of ambush on this particular mission, but I can remove that risk by paying 25 intel, so I'll go ahead and do that.
My kind will do whatever is needed.
And finally, if I assign an engineer to the Resistance Ring, I'll be able to crank out all of these covert ops a lot faster. It will reduce the duration of the missions, but at the moment, early on in the game, I just don't have enough engineers. I need them to be building facilities on board the Avenger. Now, the thing that we all know and love about XCOM2 is that the game really does love throwing a spanner into the works every now and then. Just as construction is coming along nicely, training is proceeding well, and research and development is yielding promising results any day now, right before you're in the position to take advantage of everything that you've planned, the game likes to throw a retaliation strike against you, or a supply raid, for example, that you have to undertake. Like this one.
Undoubtedly moving forward with their plans.
Commander, we just got word that the Resistance hit an Advent supply line. We have an opportunity to salvage some high-value materials, assuming we can clear out the alien forces guarding the site first.
Well, it could have been worse. I mean, supply raids are relatively straightforward. Drop in, shoot all the bad guys, secure all the supplies. What could possibly go wrong?
Commander, you should be aware. We're detecting lost activity in this area. Our forces will need to be especially vigilant.
Ah, okay, well that does complicate matters. This is another new thing in XCOM2 War of the Chosen. There's a chance that you could get a sitrep on any mission, and a sitrep is basically a fancy way of saying a complicating factor. And on this particular mission, sitrep has been played, which means that as well as Advent forces, there are also going to be some lost on this mission, so I need to be very careful about making loud noises. Still, it could have been a lot worse. Right, we've spotted a patrol, but there's only 2 of them, and there's 5 of us. I've expanded my squad size by 1 through the guerrilla training school which I constructed earlier. One of them, however, is a Viper, and the Vipers can be pretty nasty, so that guy absolutely definitely needs to die first. And my newly freed skirmisher, Mox, is setting up to flank, and I think I'm going to kick off the ambush after setting everybody else on Overwatch with Mox. And that was pretty shit. But it's alright. 3 damage. What the hell. They'll take care of him on Overwatch. Dodged. Missed. Missed. Oh, this is not good.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah. And it just got a whole lot worse. A second patrol. A sectoid and a lancer. Oh great. This is rapidly turning into something resembling a fair fight, and I don't like those. I still have 1 action left on Mox before the end of the turn. Now, as a skirmisher, Mox can act twice in any given turn, so he can move twice, the same as anybody else, or he can move and shoot, the same as anybody else, or he can shoot and then move, or he can shoot twice. But, well, with 3 damage per shot with that SMG, he's not going to be able to kill anything, so I'm going to move him into cover, and hang on, what's going on here? Oh, you have got to be kidding me.
Stand proud.
Oh yeah, it's just a supply raid, it'll be easy. Well, yeah, not in XCOM2 War of the Chosen, there's no such thing as an easy mission. The Chosen can turn up at any time and really mess your shit up. So, we've got the Chosen Warlock.
You fall to the Elder's greatest warrior.
Well, on the bright side, this isn't a fair fight anymore. Unfortunately, it's not fair for me. Oh god. And there goes the Viper, doing what Vipers do. Here comes the Purifier with his flamethrower. And... oh, come on. Ow. Oh, well, that actually could have been a lot worse. What's the sectoid up to? You're going to do something sneaky and psionic. Yep. Is he going to go for a mind control? Yep, mind control resisted, but it's left the target disorientated. And now the Lancer is going to have a go with it. Ooh, well, 3 damage again, that could have been a lot worse. And now it's my turn. Right. Shit. Okay, first things first, kill the Viper. We need to free that soldier. Okay, good stuff. Critical hit. Nice. Now, we've got the Reaper operative along, Elena Dragonova, and she's still in stealth, because that's what they do, but, well, I'm going to need to use every soldier available to me at the moment. Now, there's a chance when she first fires her Vector rifle that she is not going to be revealed, but, well, 50-50 chance, and of course I got unlucky, so she is no longer in stealth, she's visible. My disorientated sharpshooter is going to have a go, and yes, did manage to eliminate that pesky Lancer who'd worked his way around onto the flank. That just leaves the sectoid. Well, the sectoid and the Warlock. But the Warlock's not quite here just yet, so let's worry about the sectoid. I've moved Mox up. It's not a particularly good shot. However, I can at least hit him with a frag grenade. And that is also going to remove his concealment, so he's no longer in cover. Now, do I have anybody else who can fire? Yes, of course! Corporal Kelly, who had been jumped on by the Viper, which then got its head blown off. Right. Move her up to here. And she shouldn't be able to miss from this range. Come on. Shotgun? Yeah, nice. Good stuff. Right, okay. Out of immediate shit, at least. There may be more patrols out there, and of course the Warlock is moving in. Now, the Chosen's abilities are actually randomly generated at the start of each game. And in this particular game, the starting abilities of the Chosen Warlock are, he's immune to melee damage, so yeah, great. And also his defense increases after the first attack of every turn. However, he does also have vulnerabilities. He has the Groundling trait, which means he's easy to target from high ground, and most of my squad are currently on high ground. Oh crap, there's a turret. But he's also an adversary of the Skirmishers, and I have Mox along in this particular mission. Mox is the Skirmisher operative, and that means that he takes increased damage from any Skirmishers in your squad. Now, Elena was revealed when she took the shot earlier, but she gets the opportunity to stealth up again once per mission, so we're going to do that. And we're going to use her as a scout, and this is something that the Reaper excels at. While they're in shadow, they have exceptional mobility. So we're going to move her out onto the flank. The Warlock's not quite here yet, and I want to get her in a position so she can both spot him as he closes in and shoot at him from the flank and from higher ground, because he has a vulnerability to that. Now, with the exception of Mox and Corporal Kelly, everybody else is on higher ground. And they are kind of clustered together, and they are kind of making a nice inviting target for any kind of area effect psionic attack that the Warlock might like to employ. But shooting at this guy from higher ground is one of the few advantages that I have, so we're going to go ahead and take the risk. Now, we've moved Mox up, he's picked up the loot before it expired, and let's get Corporal Kelly up here. So these two are going to be in a position to cover each other, and we'll get that shotgun reloaded. There's no real urgency. I don't really have to have everybody on Overwatch right now because, well, the Chosen Warlock is still miles away. It's going to take him a couple of turns to get here, so I can afford to take my time, get everybody set up, into cover, reloaded, on Overwatch, and ready to go.
On Overwatch. Quiet. Do you hear something?
There he is. Get him. Go on, Irish. Oh, it's a shotgun attack, but... oh, it's a hit! Who's next? Come on, come on, come on. Come on. And it's Mox. And he does increased damage to the Warlock, so naturally he misses. Well, of course he does. And that's it. He didn't trigger anybody else's Overwatch because he's on the far side of the train carriage, and they don't actually have line of sight to him. So, shit. What's he going to do? Well, for now he's grandstanding, but once he's finished grandstanding, what really? That's it? He used all of his actions on movement. Right, okay. We can't afford to let this guy get an attack off. Unfortunately, there's not many people in the squad that actually have line of sight to him. So, Grace O'Sullivan does have a shot with a sniper rifle. And if it hits, it's going to do a lot of damage. So, come on, Paddy, do it. Yes! 6 damage. Good stuff. He can't have a lot of health left. Mox is up. And he's only got 2 health. Right, Mox, do not screw this up again. Where are we going to move him to? Don't have a huge amount of options. It's not easy to flank this guy. He's put himself into a nice spot. And unfortunately from here, I only have a 10% chance of hitting him. And those are terrible odds. If I hadn't thrown that grenade at the sectoid earlier, I could have finished this right now with 1 frag grenade, but, well, I did, so I can't. So instead we're going to put Mox into cover. Corporal Kelly. Now remember, this guy's immune to melee attack. So the sword's out of the question, but she does still have a shotgun. Now let's have a look. 30%. Ugh, those are terrible odds. However, Corporal Kelly has a frag grenade and he only has 2 health. Fire in the hole! Gotcha, bitch! And the Chosen Warlock is down. I have to say, he was a hell of a lot less scary than the assassin. Then again, he never actually got to make an attack, so maybe I'm just misjudging him.
If I am defeated today, it is but another trial in my service to the Elders, and their vision foresees all outcomes.
Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished. We've proven the Chosen can be hurt. Now we just have to work on putting them down for good. Great job, Commander. We sent the Chosen back to their masters with a few scars to show for their effort. If they decide to face us again, we'll be ready.
The Elders Chosen are incredibly resilient. Despite our victory over them today, we still have much to learn if we wish to destroy them permanently.
Only 2 wounded on a mission that included a botched ambush and a Chosen Warlock encounter? Yeah, I'll take it. And we get to promote Mox to Corporal, so he gets a new ability. Now he's got 10 ability points, but I've also got free XP in the form of 13 XCOM ability points. So I could buy him more than 1 ability here, but for the moment we're just going to use his own 10 ability points to purchase the reflex skill, which once per game, when fired upon, grants him an extra attack, and we're going to save the rest for later. So, mission successful, although I have to admit I did get very, very lucky. Speaking of luck, Chief Engineer Shen has some fantastic good news.
These magnetic-based weapons are a lot like the early railgun prototypes. They fire projectiles at extremely high velocity.
New boomsticks! Huzzah! Because the old ones really sucked, so that's very welcome. And things are coming along quite nicely. We had a bit of a botched operation there, but we got away with it. We put one of the Chosen down. We have new weapons coming online. Troops are getting promoted. They're unlocking new abilities. Everything's looking rosy. Well, yeah, you see, the thing about XCOM2 War of the Chosen is that as your troops develop new abilities and gain experience and rank up, so do the Chosen.
Got an urgent communication coming in for you now, Commander.
I had high hopes for the Resistance under your leadership, Commander, and you have outdone yourself.
Well, that sounds like good news.
Our friends in the Resistance have shared what they know of these so-called Chosen the Elders have sent after us. It sounds like we should expect these things to actively hunt us until we take them out.
You should only hope that I find you before the others do. They aren't nearly as civil.
Yep, each month the Chosen get their own progress report. The Assassin can now attempt sabotage on my ship and is increasing her combat strength, and the Warlock is cracking down on the Resistance, permanently lowering my income. I don't know what the third one's doing because I haven't met him yet, but it's not going to be anything good, and you've got all this as well as having to worry about the Avatar project. However, it's not all bad news. These are Resistance orders. Every month you get to choose from a whole bunch of orders which you unlock via conducting covert ops in the Resistance Ring. You unlock these Resistance orders via the Resistance Ring by sending troops out on covert ops, and the more influence you have with the various different Resistance factions, the more orders you can actually apply to them in any given month. At the moment, it's early on in the game, I don't have enough influence with the Reapers or the Skirmishers to apply any orders to them, but I do have a wildcard slot available for XCOM itself, which has allowed me to equip the Resistance order that reduces the cost of everything bought on the black market by 33%. And that's actually quite handy because you buy things on the black market with intel, and I don't have an awful lot of intel at the moment, but as well as a new corporal specialist and a new engineer, the rewards for this mission that the Reapers have just offered me is 75 intel. So all I have to do is get in there, rescue a couple of stranded XCOM operatives, and get out without screwing things up too badly. What could possibly go wrong? Join me in the next XCOM2 War of the Chosen video, and we'll find out. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.